Hi friends, my name is Miss Cristina and I am so glad that you have joined me here today. This is the beginning of December and I am sure you are waiting eagerly and excitedly for Christmas. Perhaps you have an advent calendar that helps you count down the days until Christmas. This particular one has a star that you can insert in the pocket to help mark the passing of time until Christmas. It can be really hard to wait, can't it? Especially if it's something you are excited about. Today, we are going to be learning about why we eagerly and excitedly wait for Christmas. Now, do you know what a prophecy is? A prophecy is a message from God about something that is going to happen. In the Bible, God would tell his message to a person, and then that person would tell everybody else. And that person was called a prophet. Now, God made a promise at the beginning of the Bible, way back in the very beginning in Genesis, that he was going to send someone to rescue the world from sin, and that way everyone would be able to be with God again if they chose to. Now remember, these past few months, Miss Carolyn, Miss Joy, and myself, we have been teaching you about God telling the people in the Bible that somebody was coming, somebody special, a Messiah. As time went on in the Bible, God kept giving more prophecies about how the Messiah would look like, about where he would be born, and what he would do. Now, he did that so people would know when the time came that the Messiah was who he says he is, that everyone would know without any doubt who the Messiah was. Now, do you know who the Messiah is? Jesus. Did you know that some scholars, now scholars are people who read the Bible and read books about the Bible and study it a lot, and like that's their job. Now, some scholars believe there are over 300 prophecies or promises about the Messiah that Jesus fulfills, that Jesus did. Now, today, we are going to be talking about some of them, and some of them you already know. So, way back in the beginning of the Bible again, we met Abraham. And do you remember that God made a promise to Abraham that the whole world would be blessed through his offspring? Well, his offspring is Jesus. Jesus is a descendant of Abraham. Now, another prophecy God made to King David, that King David would have a descendant that would sit on the throne forever. Now, that person is Jesus. Jesus' mother and father, his earthly mother and father, Mary and Joseph, were descendants of David. Now, there are some other really interesting prophecies. There was a prophet named Micah, and I'm going to read to you what he wrote down. So we're going to be in Micah chapter 5, verse 2. It says, "But you, Bethlehem, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from old, from ancient times." So that particular prophecy is telling us where the Messiah was going to be born. He was going to be born in Bethlehem. Now, did you know that that was written 700 years before Jesus was born? It was written down and said, this is where the Messiah is going to be born, and he was born in Bethlehem. Now, another prophet, his name is Isaiah, and he too wrote down many different things about how the Messiah was going to live, about what he was going to do when he was alive, and how he was going to die. And this is one that we're going to read together. Now, it's found in Isaiah. It's in chapter 7, verse 14. It says, "Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and we will call him Emmanuel." So it tells us that a young woman who has never been married is going to have a son, and she is going to call him Emmanuel. Now, do you know what Emmanuel means? It means God with us. God with us. Friends, the world had been waiting for a very long time to be with God, all the way from the Garden of Eden. Do you remember in the very beginning of the Bible, Adam and Eve chose not to listen to God and ate from the tree they weren't supposed to. Since then, remember, God made the promise that he would make a way for people to be with him again. And after years and years, like hundreds and hundreds of years of waiting, this was it. God himself took the form of a child. There's the baby. It's baby Jesus. And choosing to come to earth to be with us as Jesus. Now, Jesus grew up to be a man and died on the cross to take away the punishment for our sin. And he came alive again and will come back. And he did all of that so we could be with him. After all this time, we people had a way to be with God again. And that is why on Christmas we remember and we celebrate the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, Emmanuel, God with us. On Christmas Day, we remember that the wait is over. God is with us. Friends, as we continue to prepare for Christmas, I hope you remember that God loves you so very much and that he chose to come to earth to be with you. Next week, we are going to continue to learn more about the Christmas story, and I hope you can join us then. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you remember that I love you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, friends.